please hit that subscribe button. Hey everybody, better suited to win the Stanley Cup this season. If you are new to the channel, the Washington Capitals, the Boston Bruins.
Watch out, and he scored! And we're live.
Hey everybody, so we have a trade to talk about between the Toronto Maple Leafs and the LA Kings. It took place last night. Before we get into the video talking about it, I just want to quickly remind everyone to please like and subscribe to the channel. Both of those things really help out and are greatly appreciated. So, Toronto and LA make a deal late last night, right after the Maple Leafs lose to the New York Rangers 5-3. And now Jack Campbell and Kyle Clifford have been traded from the LA Kings to the Toronto Maple Leafs in exchange for Trevor Moore, a 2020 third-round pick, and a 2021 conditional third-round pick. So, wow. What a move for the Toronto Maple Leafs. I love this move for Toronto. They have addressed two of the biggest issues on that team, the two biggest areas of need, or two of them, in one trade. They added the toughness and grit that they've needed for the past 3 years and haven't had, and they addressed the backup goaltender situation, both in the same trade, upgrading both of those areas, while all they're giving up is a couple of picks and a fringe roster player. They really didn't give up a whole lot to address this issue. Trevor Moore, I think, has 5 points this year. He's missed a lot of the season with injury. He's a fringe roster player, and they give up a third-round pick and then a conditional third-round pick. This, to me, is a nice win for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Kyle Clifford is tough as nails. This is the kind of guy that Toronto has needed for years now, and they haven't had. And last night in the game against the Rangers, Zach Hyman got absolutely dummied at the end of the game by Jacob Trouba, ragdolled around and just physically abused. And that's been the story of the Maple Leafs for the last few years. They're getting physically abused. They don't have toughness. They don't have grit. That changes now. Kyle Clifford is one tough SOB. He's won 2 Stanley Cups with the LA Kings. He's 29 years old now. He's been around a while. He's a solid fourth-line player. Actually, analytically, he's one of the better fourth-line players in the NHL. And he's tough as nails. He can fight anybody. He doesn't fight nearly as much as he used to, but he still can, that's for sure. He can fight anybody in the league. He's one of the tougher guys left in the league. This is exactly the kind of player that Toronto's needed in their lineup to address this toughness issue. So their toughness problem has now been addressed. Backup goaltending, that's been a huge problem. Michael Hutchinson not cutting it. Hutchinson's been pretty bad most of this year. He took the L again last night, giving up 5 goals. Well, one was an empty netter, so he really gave up 4. But he gave up another 4 goals to the Rangers last night, lost the game. Hutchinson's just not cutting it as the backup goalie. And that's was an area of concern for the Maple Leafs. Now they get Jack Campbell, who is certainly an upgrade over Hutchinson, and hopefully he can kind of settle things down in net. Anderson obviously is out with a minor injury right now. Anderson is the guy. He's obviously their number one and who they need to lead them to the playoffs. But you need to have an at least serviceable backup who can win you some games when the starter needs a rest. They haven't really had that this season with Hutchinson. Now I think Campbell's going to be able to come in and maybe at least pick up some wins when Freddie Anderson isn't playing. So obviously there's still holes on the roster in Toronto. There's still work to be done. This does not address their biggest issue, which in my mind is defense, and their defense has been an issue for a number of years now. This doesn't really change that at all, but outside of defense, the two biggest problems for the Toronto Maple Leafs were backup goaltender and no toughness, and they've addressed both of those two issues with this deal. They don't give up a whole lot to do it. I think this is a fantastic trade for the Maple Leafs. Dubas really did a great job with this one. quality backup goaltender in Jack Campbell, very good and very tough fourth liner in Kyle Clifford, and all they give up is Moore and a couple of picks. I think this is a extremely good deal for Toronto. If I were a Maple Leafs fan, I would be absolutely ecstatic about this. And I still think Dubas has work to do. I still think they need to address their defense and somehow improve defensively. But this massively improves their team. This improves their backup goaltender situation and their toughness / physicality situation. This makes the Toronto Maple Leafs a better team. So we'll see if they make any more moves as we get closer and closer to the deadline. I do think that they'll probably do something to address the defensive issues, and I think that they need to. But for a first move of trying to improve the team as we head towards the deadline, this is a great first move from Kyle Dubas in the Toronto Maple Leafs. So credit to them for that, and that's my opinion with that. Like, comment, share, subscribe, follow on social media. All those links are down in the description. If you'd like to further support the channel, the links to our Patreon and merchandise store are down in the description as well. Keep spreading the word about this channel. Let's keep this thing growing. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll talk to you guys soon.